camera action. All eyes on me, 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 me. All eyes on me, 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 me. I'm all that you see.
This is why everybody absolutely loves the G63.
You see. All eyes on me.
This might look like any other G-Wagon that you spotted recently, but I'm here to tell you that this is the brand new third generation W465 series G63. Has just been launched in the country. The first 120 units have already been spoken for. So if you're interested in this, if you order one right now, you will get it in Q3 of 2025. That's the kind of demand the G63 has. Now, for this new generation, third generation, the styling hasn't been messed with. That's why it looks the same or just like a facelift of the second generation. But when something looks as cool, as iconic, as desirable, why would you want to mess with it? The engine, the familiar M177 4-liter twin-turbo engine, that now gets an added boost of power and torque courtesy 48-volt mild hybrid technology. And to tame all that power, it gets active suspension, which completely transforms the way the G63 drives. But first, I should point out that on the inside, it finally gets a touchscreen infotainment. You can put it into, where's that, Track Pace. There is a drag race mode here. You can start it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Launch. And that's 0 to 100 in 4.96 seconds. Claimed 0 to 100 is in 4.3 seconds. While doing these runs, I got a best time of 4.5 seconds. It is ridiculously quick. Once you're done with the run, you can actually analyze your data. So you have all your data saved out here. Let's see my fastest. The quickest was 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds, reaction time of 0.52, which actually is not a great reaction time. 0 to 50 in 1.89 seconds. And here you have this graph of speed versus time. So 100 in 4.5 seconds. And then you can add different channels. So say you want to add the drift angle. We'll do that on dirt, vehicle tilt. Let's see vehicle pitch angle. So this shows how much the nose lifted. So at 1 second, the nose lifted in 1, 2, 3 steps, which corresponds to around 20 kilometers per hour. So at launch, the nose was flat and then it lifted at around the 1 second mark, and it stayed flat at that particular pitch angle. And at 3 seconds, the nose again came back down slightly. We can remove this channel, add maybe another channel. Let's see, gear, engine oil temperature, consumption. Now that'll be interesting. Let's see what the consumption. Okay, so all through the run, the consumption was 1 kmpl on the entire 0 to 100 run. So you can add channels, analyze your data, lots of interesting stuff. And as we've seen in the past, a lot of this system, the telemetry system, is actually done right here in India by MBRDI based out of Bengaluru. So there's an Indian touch to the G63. So in traditional suspension systems, you have your anti-roll bars which connect the suspension, tries to limit the body roll. But in a vehicle like the G with a very high center of gravity, body on frame, there was a lot of body roll. Now they have interconnected electro-hydraulic flow valves. What that does is that the compression units on one side are connected via these electro-hydraulic flow valves to the rebound units on the other side and vice versa. When the wheel compresses, the piston on that side extends upward, compresses the hydraulic fluid, and using these valves, it supports the rebound units on the other side. And that's how the damping force from side to side and front to rear is continuously altered. AMG says that this results in improved body control and ride comfort, also when you go off the road. But on the road, the improvements in comfort are just astonishing. where the G63 earlier would jump over even these small undulations, expansion joints, you would get the kick from the rear. All of that is actually gone. This does not feel beastly anymore. It actually is comfortable. I'm astonished by just how much better the ride comfort is. And then you go around corners, obviously put it into Sport Plus, and these tires scream out for mercy, but you have surprisingly little body roll. That armfuls of body roll is all gone. Of course, when it's on the limit of its cornering performance, then when you step on it, it starts to push and struggles to contain all that power. But around these corners, it's immensely capable. This engine is all about the oral performance, all the oral drama, pops and bangs. Mercedes has able to contain all this power that you can actually deploy 603 bhp in a body on frame vehicle. This suspension tuning, this suspension system is just magic. In a sports car, we are like, wow. In an SUV, this active suspension is transformative. You never imagine the kind of liberties that you can take with a G63. Round corners, round bumpy roads, you can just deploy all this power. Of course, it is no Cayenne. Let's make one thing clear. But a Cayenne is no G63 either. This king of the world driving position, it makes you feel like you own the damn place. It makes you feel incredible. Nothing feels like a G. One thing is there, when you step on it, it starts to pull all over the place. I'm flooring it now. When the boost comes on, it starts to yank left, right. Little bit you have to fight the steering wheel. And also turbo lag is evident, especially because in the G63, every time the turbo comes on song, the nose starts to lift and drop. So you constantly want to play with it, and that's why you realize that there is turbo lag. So you got to wait for the boost to build up, and then all 850 Newton meters are deployed. See all those expansion joints? The G63, the second gen G63 will just throw you off. I haven't spoken about the styling, which is honestly, what is there to speak about the styling? Mercedes did not need to do anything, and they actually haven't done anything either. This still looks wildly desirable, like crazy desirable. These colors, they scream out loud, again adds to the desirability. There are small tweaks, small aero tweaks around the bumper. Everything looks better finished. The panel gaps are tighter. Everything has been redone, but it just has that same iconic G-Wagon presence, stance and styling, which is great. It's really good. Even the fact that the door hinges are exposed is great. I think it works brilliantly for a vehicle like this. We'll just go around this corner, stop off and talk a little bit about the interiors also, because the interiors do have more features on it. You can take three-pointed turns without a problem, without feeling like this is going to drop on its side. Finally, one of Mercedes' most expensive models finally gets the new electrical architecture, the new MBUX system and a touchscreen. Now, this dash, it might look familiar, but it's actually pretty new and a lot of new components on it, including the two 12.3-inch screens. It gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You get the Track Pace app, which also has a drag mode. It has a couple of tracks that are mapped onto it. None of the tracks in India are mapped onto it. I don't know who's going to use a G63 on a racetrack, but then those who can afford it, they can do whatever they want with it. It also gets the new off-road modes. So to activate that, you use the off-road cockpit for those views. Now, this is actually new. This wasn't there on the second generation or even the first generation of the G-Wagon. The 3 buttons for locking the differentials, that's also much smaller. So you first lock the front differential, activate the off-road programs, and you get the sand, trail, and rock modes. You can switch off ESP. You can even increase the exhaust noise even while you're going off-roading. Then you lock the center diff, you lock the third differential. You can engage low range. Of course, you have to put it into neutral to engage low range. You can use the gears in manual mode, and thus configured, the G63, the G-Wagon of any sort, is unstoppable. The kind of traction, the kind of abilities this has off-road is mind-blowing. But then, I don't think anybody would buy a 3.6, in fact 4 crore SUV to go off-roading. Where they'll be using it is on the road. They'll be making noise on the road, and that's what we're going to do now. There's also the technology pack on the G63, which is basically a full suite of ADAS features, including active lane keep assist and all of that, which is great. I don't think you're really going to use it that much, but it's great to have all these safety features. Great also to have an 18-speaker, 760-watt Burmester sound system, which sounds really good. But you don't want to drive a G63 and listen to the sound system. You're going to drop a gear, drop a second gear, drop a third gear, and of course, as you build up speed, the wind roar kind of drowns out the exhaust sounds. I think some of these exhaust sounds are also piped into the cabin through the speakers, and it'll go on like this all the way till 220 kilometers per hour. If you option the driver's package, you can get 240 kilometers per hour top speed in the G63, which is a bit ridiculous for something that has the aero of a brick wall. But hey, more the merrier. God, I love this thing. This is just so addictive. With this active suspension system, the nose also doesn't lift enormously. In the past, when you did like a full bore standing start, the nose would point to the moon. But now it stays surprisingly tied down. This now is the most capable, sweetest handling G ever made. Unlike in the past, where you would see a corner and start to brake 1 kilometer before, today you can go down the corners, drop a gear, just hold on for dear life, and it will handle. With every update to the G, prices have gone up. And no surprise, with this new third generation G63, prices have gone up. It now starts at 3.6 crore rupees, and that's before you put in the option. Like this night package with all the carbon fiber that this particular G63 has, the manufactured paint trim, this is probably 4 crore rupees. Yet, for a G63, price does not make any difference. Even at this price, all the allocation that Mercedes-Benz India has got has been sold out. 120 units, they've all been spoken for. So if you have the money, if you put down money on a G63 today, you will get an allocation in Q3 of 2025. This is sort of like a Rolex, stupidly priced, yet you have to desperately wait to get an allocation. And then it's also like an appreciating asset. G63s hold their value. No car holds its value as well as a G, whether it's the diesel G or this G63. And with this new G63, the difference is that it's wildly overpowered, but it can put all that power down courtesy the new active suspension. This is the best handling G ever made. It's fabulously priced, but it's also fabulous to drive.